Trevor Zegras, he's back. New contract in the books. First preseason game. New line mates. New coach. New everything. New season. Hyped for this one. We've been waiting a long time to see Zegras back on the ice. Without further ado, let's jump right in. All right, first clip of the video that we're going to highlight here for Trevor Zegras. This is going to be a defensive zone shift. And so I just want everyone to keep in mind where Trevor Zegras is on the ice. Right here, let's just get that out of the way. That way we're all on the same page. The big rap on Trevor Zegras is, hey, he's a great dynamic offensive playmaker, but what can we get him to bring defensively? How can we get him to that next level so that he can become a true impact player in all three zones of the ice? Because we know he's already got one absolutely covered, and the neutral zone is a great transition player. So here in this clip, you're going to see Pavel Mintyukov just rim it over to Leo Carlsson. Nothing crazy there. Carlsson then isn't able to get to it, and so Trevor Zegras here just kind of assumes that someone is going to be available for him, right? You see that little backhand pass, thinking that Leo Carlsson is already covering that gap. Now, caveats here, it's his first preseason game. Who knows how much film he's actually gotten to watch, but this is just not a great play. If you're not sure, you really want to avoid doing something like this, putting the puck in the middle of the ice. So right here, quick little chip, quick little backhand chip, and it goes right to the Coyotes. So that's not great. Roll the clip. Zegras, left of your screens, scanning, and this is a great play right here. He gets his stick in the middle lane. This is what I think is so good about Trevor Zegras, so what can be so good about Trevor Zegras defensively. We know he has a great awareness of the game as a playmaker. You can apply those same principles defensively because as a playmaker, you have a good idea of passing angles, deception, where the other team's trying to go. So pay attention, number 11 in black by the Ducks net here. Scans, right? You see that head movement. You see that he got a good look at, okay, this could become a problem. This passing lane could become a problem for my team. He's got an eye on it. Roll clip. Boom. Scanned it, already knew, got his stick in the lane, breaks it up. So that's great. That's fantastic. I want to just go back and look at it one more time here. Scanning, right? You saw that little look, right? I want to make sure we see that because this is really key. We want to show you the awareness of this player in this specific situation. And actually, he does it twice. Two scans. So we're going to look at it twice. Right there. Look at that. Scanning. That's good. This is positive. Thumbs up. I'm not going to draw a thumb because that'd be weird, but scanning, and then right here coming in. Oh, I just missed it, but he's looking. He is looking and gets a stick in that lane because he knew he had the awareness, he had the anticipation to jump the lane. That is great stuff. That is not taking a risk. That is just, I am reading the game and I am one step ahead of you. Love that. Don't love this though. Don't love putting the puck back into the middle of the defensive zone. So right here, I get it. I see where he's trying to go. I think that's Silverberg that he's trying to get it over to. And instead, it just kind of goes to no one. Oh, sorry, that was Cam Fowler. I don't know why I said Jakob Silverberg. Totally wrong. Turns into a chance. And what you would also like to see is, hey, that's fine. Turnovers are going to happen. But when we make a mistake, let's get back in the play real quickly. Instead, Zegras kind of waits just a tick, and he's doing that slouched over thing that you just don't want. Coaches hate seeing this, right? Into the middle, and just watch him right here as the puck gets back to the Coyotes. Just a little slouched, right? You want to be really, okay, I'm going to clean up my mess. Because coaches don't care as much about the mess and almost more about, hey, are you willing to get back into the mix and fix the problem that you created? And so right here, Zegras is just kind of passive. And again, this part of this is just he doesn't know the system. He doesn't necessarily know where to be. But you're too low right here. You're not covering anyone. And so he recognizes that, and good on him, right? I think this is good of what I'm going to call a makeup. This is good energy to clean up the mess. So really gets out there aggressively to the point and just forces the Coyotes defenseman to maybe take a shot that he didn't like. But Ducks get it out of the zone. And so overall, with this clip, I think that you saw some of the good with Trevor Zegras, some of the anticipation, And you also saw maybe some of the things that we'd like to see him clean up. The decision making. Once you have the puck, let's keep it in safer areas. Be sure, and also let's try to clean up the mess when there is one, or at least just show a little more effort. So some good, some bad, and again, all the caveats that, hey, this is still the preseason. This is his first game. There's a lot he's figuring out still. Okay, next clip. So here I want to highlight some good defensive work by Trevor Zegras, scanning the puck just to make sure we're all on the same page here. Trevor Zegras is right here, number 11. And he's going to do a good job of getting in the shooting lane and getting his stick to actually block a shot. So right here, following his check, and the defenseman here puts on a move at the blue line. So as you can see, Zegras is shading to the middle, which is something that we want. We want our forwards to be discouraging any sort of access into the middle of the ice. So defenseman puts on a move. Zegras has to adjust. Now you maybe don't love the fact that he kind of does the old twirly bird here and has to spin around. Play that one more time. Ooh, but he's still with his man. And what I really like here is that as his check, as the defenseman here gets back onto his forehand and is going to try to attack that space, Zegras gets on sort of the back foot, but in a good way. He gets into his backward skating stride and still takes away this lane right here. So he's acutely aware of what is the danger, what do I need to get to prevent this from becoming a problem. Roll it. So gives up a little depth, gets into that backward skating stride, but then that allows him to explode out, right? As you can see, he gets to the bottom of that backward stride, but then plants that back foot, which allows him to step back out. So defenseman's going to think that he has a lot of space to shoot here, but because Zegras is loading up, he's actually going to close that gap very quickly. Boom. Right? It's subtle. It's not the most exciting, right? We're not showing Trevor Zegras Michigans here by any stretch of the imagination. But I think it's just important to highlight that these are the things that the GM, that the coach, that everybody involved wants to see Zegras get better at so that he can become an even more complete player and eventually get that big long-term contract with the Ducks. So important to highlight. I think he did a good job there overall. And even though there were maybe some things like the old twirly bird that I showed at the top there, overall he just does a good job of keeping his man to the outside and eventually closing the lane completely and blocking a shot. So good work here by Zegras overall. Okay, on to the next one. More good defensive work from Trevor Zegras. This time it's more of a forecheck. It's a neutral zone forecheck. We're going to roll the clip. Puck comes out. Ducks are trying to just regain possession. And so as you can see there, Trevor Zegras getting into the passing lane. Right. And we'll just keep an eye on him. Right here. And he just kind of closes that gap, right? And that's what we talked about in the last clip. Take the middle away. Coaches, if there's one thing that they will try to instill in people, it's take this away. Do not give this up. So does a good job of getting his stick in there, right? Not overcommitting, and actually breaks up the pass or makes it less good of a pass. Now he's back on his horse, back checking, trying to fill that middle lane. And once again, using his stick, breaking up the play. And what I love about the sequence here is that not only does he break up the play, but he actually then makes the next play because of his anticipation. This is what I mean. So poke check, but immediately, whoop, that quick turn. He's already looking up ice, gets the puck over to him, and just a quick little one-touch pass over to Troy Terry. Doesn't actually result in anything, but I just love the process here. These are just little boxes, but to a coach, they're big boxes. And if you can do this stuff consistently, you're going to gain the coach's favor and you're going to help your team win games, right? Just being disruptive, anticipating, making the simple plays. That is really what it's all about. All right, next clip. This is something that we need to talk about. Trevor Zegras, how can he improve as a hockey player? This is something that his GM, his coaches, media all have talked about. Get stronger along the boards, win more battles. Now you may ask yourself, why does that matter? He's a center. Who cares? He's already a dynamic playmaker. Well, here's the deal. A lot of the game, both in the playoffs and the regular season, you got to get off the boards and into the middle, because that is where the high quality offense is going to come from. There's analytics to back that up. So you got to get out of this mucky area and into the middle. So how do you do that? Great body position, strength, resilience. There's a lot that goes into it. To me, the textbook for this is written by Sidney Crosby. He is the best puck protection artist that we have seen in the modern game. There are videos about this on YouTube that you can watch. And so I think that on this play, Trevor Zegras takes a little bit of a page out of the Sidney Crosby book. So he sees the battle developing, puck comes over to him, gets low, and as soon as he feels that defenseman get up on him and close the gap, I love this instinct right here, right? Knees bent, and you're going to see that he gets that arm out to shield. And what that does is it forces the defenseman into a bad position because now there's no way he can get the puck from him without taking a penalty or, being overly aggressive and maybe putting himself out of position. So roll it here, and that's exactly what happens. He takes a penalty. Trevor Zegras draws the penalty, sticking that arm out, and the play keeps going. Gets it over to Troy Terry. The Ducks are able to maintain possession. But I just love the instinct here of let's assume a dynamic athletic posture to protect the puck to make plays happen. If Trevor Zegras can keep this up, and we have more clips of this on the way, I just think that he's going to unlock a whole new dimension of his game. Next clip, more puck protection by Trevor Zegras, but now this is going to be a little bit of a different chapter in that textbook we were talking about earlier, because it's not just, hey, let's protect the puck when we have it. It's when we have an opportunity to get the puck, let's immediately assume that dynamic posture. So just so we can all be on the same page here, Trevor Zegras is right there. Ducks are entering the offensive zone. And one thing that you'll hear coaches talk a lot about is initiating contact, right? Peter Forsberg is famous for this, the reverse check. The guy's coming on to you, hit him back before he hits you. Or as you're going to get the puck, get in that inside lane and assume that body position so that you can win the puck. Be the aggressor, initiate the contact. This is such a key skill, and of course it requires athleticism, strength, all of that, but this is a key skill that we haven't really seen a lot of from Trevor Zegras, and on this play, he just shows a little bit of an inkling of that. So puck comes loose, puck gets dumped in, and right, nothing really comes of that necessarily at first blush, but as you can see, puck gets dumped in, and he can feel the defenseman on him, and he's already looking to separate. He's already looking to get that shoulder into him, right? The puck is all the way over here, but he knows this guy is a problem for me to have possession. So leans into him, boom, and that little rub, I'm going to call it, it didn't fully get him away, but it allowed Zegras to slow him down and get to that puck just a little smoother, right? Now it creates a battle. Now it creates a scrum in the corner. Ducks are able to fish it out, and actually Zach Cassian ends up taking a penalty here, which is really dumb. But all of this, to me, at least the opportunity for the Ducks to get the puck back is initiated because Trevor Zegras was the first aggressor on this little chip in, right? Boom. Now, maybe it's borderline interference, you could say, but this is such a common play in the NHL. They don't call it. I don't like it, but they don't call it. I just love the instinct by Trevor Zegras to think to do that. It's not something that we've really seen from him in years past, but as he's getting stronger, as he's developing, it's just going to, again, allow his game to become more dynamic. Let's talk about more puck protection. So on this play, there were three factors I highlighted earlier, right, when it comes to board battles. So strength, body position, and what I like to call resilience. People may have a different way of phrasing it. People may have different terms, different factors. But to be a good player along the boards, you have to want it. You have to have that extra little step that you're willing to go to that other players aren't. The shining example of this to me, I think Sidney Crosby is like the textbook of angle, of strength, body position, all that. But the player that comes to mind for me, and if you're a longtime listener of the podcast, you'll probably think, oh no, Felix is talking about the Canadians again, but Brendan Gallagher. Brendan Gallagher is a great example of just sometimes wanting it more. And wanting it more doesn't necessarily mean, hey, do something just insane to get the puck back. Trevor Zegras right there, by the way. But just find a way to get that puck to maintain possession. And I think Trevor Zegras does that here. Again, it's not crazy combative, but it's just more ingenious, if anything. So puck pops up, goes to the wall. He's feeling the pressure. I think that's Clayton Keller on him. Don't know for sure, though. He loses that stick positioning. Stick gets lifted. Now he's stuck and pinned along the wall. Now there's 2 Coyotes on him because they know that they can get the puck back. But look what he does. Watch his right skate. This is going to be very subtle. Watch his right skate over here and watch what he's going to end up doing. There's a little teaser for you. Look at this. So 2 guys on him and just whoop, little soccer style for all you soccer fans that are watching this. I don't know how many of you there are. If you are a soccer fan, let me know in the comments, but watch what he does here. Just right foot, whoop. Look at that. There you see the kick. I mean, there's a little kick. Gets it over to Ryan Strome, and the Ducks are able to recover possession. I mean, that is just, again, it's not anything crazy, but it's just that additional little layer. And I'm not saying he never had this in the past, but I've now shown you multiple clips in this game of just good angle, good strength. I think he looks stronger and quicker to me, and that is just an example of wanting it more, of just finding a way to maintain possession. And oh, by the way, nice scoring chance here for Leo Carlson. But just look at that. Just, it doesn't have to be much. It really doesn't have to be much to go that extra mile. All right, folks, last clip of the video, and I figured let's have a little fun as we get on out of here. I've shown you a lot of what I would call more nitty-gritty, maybe not the most flashy and exciting stuff, but that's the stuff that I think is going to make Trevor Zegras a better hockey player in the long run. Hell, even in the short run. But right here, this is just, to me, Trevor Zegras at his best offensively in transition, right? This isn't in the offensive zone. This is just, let's get the puck into the other team's zone. This is on a power play. But just watch the setup here. There are so few players in the NHL that I think would even attempt this kind of pass, right? Comes in, good speed, scanning. I mean, that's just something that you always really like to see with Trevor Zegras when he's controlling the puck, is just always that head up, just always gathering information, always finding a way to know, okay, where are the dangers coming from and where are the weaknesses that I can exploit. So right here, comes in on a pattern, bit of an angle. And what he's doing here, at least I think, is that he's attacking on an angle, on a pattern, to create another passing lane behind him, right? These guys think ahead. These elite playmakers, they're not just thinking about, okay, what are the 2 variables in front of me? They are adding variables that we just don't really readily ascertain. So right here, attacks, and then between the legs, over to, I think it was Ryan Strome. And now the Ducks have possession. I mean, just genius level playmaking to me. Let's run it again. Attacks the zone on an angle and really stresses that angle. Like, goes an extra mile. And you got to love Pavel Mintyukov here, going for the pick and roll. I mean, a little bit of a screen, but hey, every team does it. Also, by the way, I want to put this out there. It is pronounced, because I watched a video of Pavel Mintyukov saying his own name. Pavel Mintyukov, something to that effect. Mintyukov. It is not pronounced Mintyukov. Why the hell would it be pronounced mint? Mint, like the silent T. It's a Russian name. That sound doesn't exist in that language. Hey, if there's any Russian viewers right now, correct me if I'm wrong, but anyway, just want to put that out there. Correct pronunciations are important. So Zegras attacks an angle and just whoop, on a tee, on a platter, whatever the expression is, leaves it for Ryan Strome between the legs. Whoop. And again, it's not anything crazy, right? I mean, this isn't like a goal. This isn't an assist, but it just shows how Zegras is as a playmaker in multiple zones, right? Creating that lane and just dumping it off between the legs. I'm just a big fan of that play. It's not, like I said, this isn't like a home run swing, but it's just those little things that he does as a playmaker that end up having a positive value for his team. On that note, I hope everyone here enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed it and you have comments, let us know. We really appreciate hearing from you guys. If you've just been enjoying the channel in general, make sure to subscribe to us. That does go a long way. And if you haven't checked out the Crash the Pond podcast yet, be sure to do so. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and we also have the podcast up here on YouTube. With that, have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching.